Amidar, released in 1981 by Konami, is an arcade game that, despite being classified as a maze game, introduces a series of innovations that distinguish it from classic titles such as Pac-Man. The basic mechanics consists of moving on a rectangular grid, trying to complete squares or rectangles by closing their perimeters with lines. However, what makes Amidar unique is the approach to path construction and enemy movements, making the game a blend of strategy, rhythm and speed. In Amidar, the player is tasked with moving along the perimeter lines of a grid. Each time an entire rectangle is completed, the inside area is filled with color. The main objective is to be able to color all the boxes on the grid, completing the level. What adds a level of strategy and challenge to the game is the fact that enemies follow predetermined paths. One of Amidar's distinctive features is that opponents do not move randomly, but follow cyclical movements based on specific rules. In some levels, enemies move vertically or horizontally along the grid lines, which allows the player to anticipate their movements and find safe spaces to complete the rectangles. Imagine a world made of invisible lines and geometric shapes just waiting to be filled with color. Here is Amidar, a 1981 arcade game that transforms the concept of capture into a geometric dance. Here, it's not just about running away from enemies or collecting objects, but about drawing paths and completing rectangles to take possession of space, like an artist on a canvas that comes alive under your feet. The player is trapped in a grid, where each movement draws a line along the edges of the squares. The goal? Complete perimeters, color spaces, and make every screen your masterpiece, while strangely methodical enemies try to stop you. They don't move randomly, as you would expect from a typical arcade game, but follow precise patterns, almost as if they were guided by a secret algorithm. And you, a skilled strategist, must anticipate their movements, find safe spaces and decide when to intervene with the only weapon at your disposal, the jump button, which doesn't make you jump, but disorientates your opponents for a precious moment. But Amidar isn't just about shapes and enemies. It is a continuous metamorphosis. One moment you're a gorilla trying to catch pigs, another, you are a paintbrush coloring pictures as you escape relentless warriors. Tension builds as time passes, and the music speeds up, making the pace of the game almost a synchronized dance between you and your enemies. Every move is calculated, every step is a risk, every square conquered is a small victory. Amidar takes a familiar concept, that of the grid, and transforms it into something new, combining strategy, creativity and rhythm in a gaming experience that is as artistic as it is competitive. It's not just an arcade, it's a mental challenge, a choreography of movement and intuition, where each game is a different story, and each level is a canvas to paint under pressure. Despite its visual simplicity, Amidar is a game that has stood out for its originality. It is not a simple run and escape, but requires a thoughtful approach, based on understanding enemy patterns and the strategic use of limited resources. It inspired numerous subsequent games with similar mechanics, especially in puzzle and strategy games. In essence, Amidar is a perfect example of how an innovative idea can transform a simple game concept into a deeply engaging and strategic experience, offering a challenge that requires both quick reflexes and planning skills.